What if I told you men don't fall in love with perfection? They fall in love with peace. Not the flawless, unbothered, goddess-type peace Instagram sells you. I mean the kind that feels like home, quiet, honest, and real. You see, somewhere along the line, women were told that being perfect makes you wife material. Always composed, always supportive, never emotional. But here's the truth. Perfection doesn't attract commitment. It attracts pressure. And men don't marry pressure. They marry presence. Stick with me till the end, because the last point reveals why the most ordinary woman in the room often gets the ring. Welcome to Love Triangle, where relationship matters are diagnosed. We decode the hidden psychology behind relationships and help you love smarter, not harder. Let's get into it.
Point number 1, the perfect illusion turns love into a performance. Let's start here. Perfection might look good online, but it feels exhausting in real life. A man sitting across from a perfect woman isn't thinking, wow, she's amazing. He's thinking, I can't mess this up. Every word becomes a test. Every conversation becomes a performance. He's not being himself. He's auditioning for approval. Take Daniel, for example. He once told his friend, I dated this girl who was stunning, smart, and always polished. But every time I was around her, I felt like I had to be my best version, like I couldn't be tired or confused or human. He said, she never seemed to have bad days, so I felt like mine made me look weak. And after months of dating, he realized he didn't miss her. He missed being himself. That's what perfection does. It doesn't create connection. It creates performance anxiety. Because when people are busy trying to impress each other, nobody's being real. Men don't want to constantly audition for love. They want a space where they can take the mask off and still be enough. So if you've been trying to hold it all together, never showing weakness, never admitting confusion, you're not making him fall in love. You're making him hold his breath. And here's a truth few talk about. No one can hold their breath forever. Eventually, they'll look for someone they can breathe around, someone imperfect but real. Point number 2. Men don't want perfect. They want peace. Let's get deeper. Men are not searching for the woman who has it all figured out. They're searching for the woman they can finally breathe around. He doesn't care if you burn the rice. He doesn't care if your hair isn't perfectly curled or if your eyeliner smudged halfway through dinner. What matters is that when he's around you, his body relaxes. That's peace. Psychologists call it emotional safety, the state where your nervous system says, I'm okay here. That's what real love feels like. Because men live in a world that constantly demands performance. They're expected to provide, protect, and always have the answers. And even the strongest men get tired of being strong all the time. So when a man meets a woman who allows him to just be, he notices. He may not use the words emotional safety, but he feels it. He feels like he can let down his guard, like he can show up messy and she won't use it against him. Let me tell you about Mike and Sarah. Mike had been dating women who looked perfect on paper, educated, polished, beautiful, but something always felt off. Then he met Sarah. She wasn't glamorous. She was funny, calm, and honest. One night, she spilled wine on his couch and laughed instead of panicking. Mike said that moment changed everything for him. I realized she wasn't performing, he said. She was just herself. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I had to act either. That's what men mean when they say, she makes me feel at home. It's not about the house, the meals, or the looks. It's about how their soul feels around you. Because after years of pretending to be strong, men crave the one woman who doesn't demand perfection, the one who allows them to exhale. That's not weakness, that's trust. And trust, not beauty, is what keeps a man home. Point number 3, real over perfect. The hidden magnetism of authentic women. Now, let's talk about the women who actually get chosen. They're not perfect, they're present. She can laugh when life gets messy. She can admit when she's wrong. She doesn't hide her flaws to look flawless. She embraces them. And that right there is the secret magnetism of authenticity. Men are drawn to authenticity the way tired souls are drawn to sunlight. It feels real, human, alive. When you stop performing and start being, something changes in how men experience you. You stop being intimidating and start being unforgettable. Because no man wants a highlight reel. He wants a story he can live inside, one with laughter, flaws, forgiveness, and love that feels alive. Let's make it real. There's a story of a man named Kevin who once dated a woman who was everything his friends called ideal. She was stunning, successful, and perfectly put together. But Kevin said, I could never tell her when I had a bad day. I always had to act fine because she looked disappointed when I wasn't okay. Months later, he met his now wife, Joy. She was the opposite. A little chaotic, sometimes late, laughed loudly, and had a soft heart. Kevin said, Joy made me feel human. She made mistakes, owned them, and loved me through mine. I never had to be perfect to be loved. See the difference? Perfection impresses people. Authenticity transforms them. So if you want to be magnetic, don't try to be flawless. Be felt. Because in the end, people remember how you made them feel, not how perfect you looked. Point number 4, the 3 feelings that make a man say, she's the one. Attraction might bring him close, but these 3 emotions make him stay. Seen, safe, inspired. Let's break that down. Seen. Not the polished version of him that the world sees, the raw version he hides. When you look at him and say, I know you're trying, or it's okay to rest, you touch something deeper than praise. You touch his soul. Men are taught to hide emotion. So when a woman actually sees beyond the surface, she becomes rare, a mirror that reflects who he is, not just what he does. Safe. Safety isn't about being quiet or submissive. It's about being emotionally predictable. A man feels safe when he knows how you'll react to his vulnerability, when he can tell you the truth without fear of punishment. You'd be surprised how many men are starving for that. Because in a world where everyone's competing, a safe space is sacred. When he finds it in you, he'll protect it with everything he's got. Inspired. And this is gold. Men don't want a woman who just claps. They want a woman who inspires, not through pressure or nagging, but through presence. When a man says, she makes me want to be better, he's not talking about control. He's talking about inspiration. The way you handle challenges, chase your dreams, or show kindness when it's not deserved, that's what lights him up. You're not saying be more. You're showing, I believe you already are. That's the kind of energy that makes a man think, I can build a life with her. Point number 5. Why perfect love feels cold and real love feels warm. Here's the truth no one likes to admit. Perfection looks good on paper, but it feels cold in person. It's the difference between air conditioning and sunlight. Both keep you cool, but only one warms your soul. When you try to be flawless, you become distant.
You edit your emotions, filter your pain, and perform your peace. And that distance kills connection. Men don't remember the woman who never cried. They remember the one who cried and still had the courage to love again. They remember the one who laughed through chaos, who stayed kind when things got rough, who made home feel alive. Take Grace, for example. She said, "When I stopped pretending to be calm and perfect, my husband started opening up more." She stopped hiding behind politeness and started being honest when she was tired, when she was hurt, when she needed help. She said, "He told me, I finally feel like we're real." That's when our marriage actually started. You see, vulnerability doesn't make love weaker, it makes it human. And real love is always human. The final truth. So let's say it clearly, once and for all. Men don't marry the perfect woman. They marry the real woman, the one who makes their world feel softer, not harder. The one who doesn't chase perfection, but connection. The one who doesn't just look good beside him, but feels good within him. Because at the end of the day, men don't fall for fantasy. They fall for the woman who makes them say, "This is where I can rest. This is where I belong." So stop trying to be flawless. Be real. Laugh more. Admit mistakes. Be present. Because realness isn't just attractive, it's irresistible. If this spoke to you, hit that like button, subscribe to Love Triangle, and tell me in the comments, which do you think men value most today? Peace, perfection, or presence? Until next time, stay soft, stay strong, and remember, perfection fades, connection stays.